Day one, the excitement level for you starting the season today officially.
Well, I was excited. I was anticipating it. I think these guys were too. They were excited to get back. We gave them, 4 or 5 days off between summer and camp, and I think most of them were ready to get back and excited to get going here. An unbelievable day today to start this thing off with. And I told them out there it's going to get hot before this all said and done, so we'll get used to the heat.
Coach, Donovan Hoylett and T.J. Baldwin are obviously two big guys for you on the defensive side, coming back from injuries. How do you feel as they progress during the summer, and what do they look like to you now?
Well, from what our trainer says, TJ's a little bit further along. He's 100%. He gets 100% of the snaps, whatever he's supposed to have. We got to, Donovan's good to go, but we got to monitor his snaps right now. But good to have both those guys back. They're both excellent players, and I think they're going to have really nice years for us.
Coach Huseman, it's not unusual for the head coach and the offensive coordinator to occasionally have some friction in terms of play calling. With your play caller this year, how do you think that might develop?
Well, I've been yelling at him for 33 years, so I'm sure he's used to it. If I don't like something, I'll let him know. He's not thin-skinned whatsoever. He'll be fine. He just wants to win. He wants to score points. So yelling at him I yelled at him way more than anybody else on this staff.
Is there a balance, though, Coach, of working with your son that closely, but obviously being his dad? Is there a balance for you this year with that?
I guess there kind of has to be, but we put it behind us. Probably other than our wives getting upset at us yelling at each other, we don't care. We've been together for a long time, it's a learning curve for him, but he's a smart kid, and obviously you guys keep forgetting Mike Cummings, who's a huge part of that, and he's been an offensive coordinator on the FBS level, so he brings a lot to the table. There's no question about it, and between the two of them, I think we got a good deal going there.
And what are some of the advantages of having co-offensive coordinators?
Well, I just thought it was best I wanted to bring in an experienced guy that has done it before, that has coordinated before. Jacob, last year, is pass game coordinator, but really he hasn't coordinated, and I felt like, we needed to bring in another guy and not just turn it over to him. And I've been extremely pleased with Mike. He's an excellent football coach, and I think they all work really well together.
A lot of new faces and a lot of new positions this upcoming season. How are you guys adjusting to that, here through the offseason and then, now that practice is here?
Yeah, I had to figure out a lot of those numbers out there, man. I walked up to Drew Anthony. I said, "Hey, who's number 4 over there?" He went, "I'm not real sure." So it's going to take me a few days just to kind of figure out, because it's changing numbers, new bodies, new faces. It'll take me about 4 or 5 days to figure these guys out, no question.
Question about your roster. Covered you guys for a long time. I counted 20 kids from the Richmond 804 area. I think that's the most the Spiders have ever had of local football players.
Yeah, I think the one thing, we've done a really good job. Jeff Hansen was recruiting it for us. Winston October did a nice job. So we've had coaches in there that have taken it serious and have done a great job of building relationships. But if you look, you can recruit and sign all you want, but if they're not good players, then it doesn't make any sense. And if you look, they're good players. When you talk about Richmond, you're still talking about the Hanover, Atlee, Patrick Henry area. That's really a local player for us. And I just see T.J. Baldwin walk. So we've done a really good job. And again, I say we, the coaches that have had this area between Jeff and Winston here most recently, they've done a really nice job and have gotten good players.
newness, is there a different feel to the start of this camp with the newness of everything? You know, new players, new roster, new position changes, new league, different feel?
Just a new helmet. Other than that, it's about the same. Yeah, and I had nothing to do with that. So if everybody likes it, I didn't. I had nothing to do with it. But that's about the only strange thing out here today were the helmets.
What was day one like?
It was fun. It was very energetic, which is easy to be on day one. But I really like where our offense is. I feel like, for the most part, a lot of the young guys knew where to line up, which is like kind of a huge step. And you see a lot of guys making plays today, which is really fun to see.
What will be the key to success for this offense?
The key to success for us, I think, will be having young guys step up. That's going to have to happen. And not even just young guys like me, guys who are older that might have been in and out a little bit, stuff like that, like establishing ourselves. And, I think if we can have a really good run game, I think it's going to open up the pass. And I think that'll be a way that we can really move the ball down the field.
I know it's only one day, but it looked like you had a pretty good connection already with Jaden Fair. How have you gotten to the point that you've gotten to with him right now?
He's a very hard worker, and we throw a ton on the side. All the wide receivers show up, and so just throwing with Jaden has been, really fun and really easy. He's a quarterback type of receiver. He knows his he knows the zones. He knows kind of where to sit it down. He's a smart, savvy guy. He's a burner, but he also is smart, which really helps.
Not your first rodeo in terms of fall camps. Going into today, were you excited to get back out here and start another season?
Yeah, for sure. I was talking to the freshmen earlier today too. They were saying "Oh man, I'm nervous." I'm like, I'm nervous too. Everyone's got to come out here and perform. So, it's a good nervous though. It's like the energy, and it never gets old, and you can never really get used to camp either. So it's always like it's your first time going out there.
What are some of the advantages of having co-offensive coordinators? Because this is another opportunity that you will have that here at Richmond.
Yeah, I think the advantage of it is that you don't have one guy that's just making all the decisions and has that pressure. I feel like when there's co-offense coordinators, people are more available to listen to other people's opinions and stuff. Maybe I don't know if it's ego things or whatever, but when it's co-offense coordinator, no one's I'm the guy calling the plays, whatever. So it kind of brings in an atmosphere of, let's talk about it, let's mend our opinions and ideas. And I think it really makes for a smooth sailing.
You've obviously, worked out with Jacob, but working with Coach Cummings, how has that been so far during the offseason?
Coach Cummings has been amazing. I love his intensity. He's an old school guy, which I really do like. And he's just super knowledgeable. He's been around this game for forever now, and he knows when to turn it up, and he also knows when to tone it down and teach and all that. So he's got a really good balance, and I really like the way he coaches.
Is there a sense of urgency, and if so, how much will you lead that charge? Having been here the last couple of years that started slowly, they ended up great,
yeah.
but to not get into that hole again.
Yeah, we've been talking about this a lot. Some of those games still haunt me to this day. Even though the success was great, you just think about oh man, what could the season have been? What the seedings when you get to later in the season, could we have set ourselves up in a better position to make a deeper run in the playoffs? Things like that. And I think I think we have our answer this year. We got a team that came into our house last year and beat us. I think that's all the motivation you need, and there's no such thing as going into a game thinking that you might be better than another team, or people think I had a good camp, I'm going to do great in the game, and it's not like that. The game's totally different. You're going against a different opponent. Things get easier out here because you start recognizing patterns. When you get in the game, there's no more patterns. It's all just playing with your head, and that's one thing that I think people are going to be really fired up to do this year. Is that it's a revenge tour already. We already had our loss. It's just the extension of last season at this point.
Any talk about the preseason poll, the Patriot League preseason poll?
Yeah, I heard a little bit about it because I was in the media day thing. But other than that, I don't think anyone in our locker room ever pays attention to the polls. If we were to listen to what people would say about us after the beginning of the last couple of years, we wouldn't have been, we would have no one at our games right now. So, it's great to be respected, but and to know that people do respect you, but at the end of the day, none of those things matter because when you go out to the field, you know, a 1-win team can give you just as much of a fight as a 10-win team.
For you this season, what are some individual or personal goals you want to achieve?
Well, I want to be able to play the whole year. That's my first goal. You know, injuries have really been a problem and unfortunate, but you know, and maybe that was on me. Maybe I can do better with treatment and preparing things like getting my ankles taped tighter. You know, last year I didn't really like ankle tape, so then I went out there with half rolled ankles, and then boom, yeah, now I got them on. And but like, you know, I want to do that, and I've really worked on this summer with Coach Jacob mastering the offense. I don't want to be a guy anymore that just like knows my part, you know, knows what the receivers are doing. Like I'm really diving into like the run game now. I want to understand the offense, understand, you know, the blocking schemes and be able to line people up. Tell them, like, I want to be able to tell a receiver like, who do I block when we're pushing the ID to another guy and stuff like that. I want to be able to know that and be able to tell those guys because I feel like that comfort, just so you know, like, playing here for 5 years, you get more comfortable, you start playing better. I mean, I noticed it in practice and all that. So it's like, if I have that good of an understanding of the offense when we get into the games, how much more comfortable can I play? And that's really my goal. And then also, you know, just to get everyone around us, be a vocal leader. I'm not a very vocal guy on the field for the most part, and I'm trying to work on that.
What was it like to be named one of the team captains?
Oh, I mean, it meant everything. Just kind of being a Richmond guy, getting the captain here at Richmond, I mean, it's a blessing. I don't know, since I've been here, there hasn't been any Richmond captains. So just being like the area captain, being kind of champion of Richmond, of 804. Now there's a whole lot of guys in the team from 804. It wasn't really like that when I got here, so I think those improvements have been really, really nice.
How big a deal is that? Because Rick had mentioned something, what was it, 20? You said, Rick?
20 I counted on
20?
the roster from 804.
How big a deal is that for the Richmond school to get that many guys from this area?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, I think there's a whole lot of talent in Richmond. There's a lot of great schools, a lot of great programs, getting kids in and out. So I just think that's a great thing for the team, just talent-wise, but just for the area. You're going to get more people from Richmond going out to games, seeing people that they know. So I think that would be great for the whole entire program.
What is the personality of this defense, do you think, based on what you've seen in the spring and now?
If I had 2 words to describe, I'd say tough, and I'd say athletic. I think that's been a hallmark of our defense, especially these past 3 years I've been here. It's been tough. Everyone's been ready to play all 48, all 60 minutes and ready to go. And I think wall to wall, you got from D-line all the way up to the back end, everyone can run, everyone can move. So I think that's going to be a real nice part of our defense this year.
Where are we going to see you?
From my knowledge, it's going to be strong safety. But obviously things happen. Obviously things happened last year and stuff gets moved around, so you never know. But right now, strong safety. That's where it's been the spring. It's where it's been the summer. Where it was today. So you never know.
Is there an advantage to having been at another defensive position and just the way you see things or react to things or not?
Oh, 100%. I just think being in all the rooms, like I've been in Coach Anthony's room and Coach Wood's room, so kind of getting the holistic view of both safeties and obviously Will, and then the inside backers, kind of knowing what more people are doing. Just gonna be able to put myself in the right position to make the play and then be able to help anybody else out if they need to, any free, Will, anything like that.
What is the players' perspective on this conference shift and perhaps how things change if they do for the Spiders?
We're excited. We're really excited. Obviously, pitching league move. Obviously, we didn't know anything about it, but we know they have really great teams. Obviously, Lehigh's the one that we're thinking about right now. It's our first game. The team will beat us in the playoffs, so we know that all those games that we'll be seeing, they're all competitive. So we know from top down, all those games are going to be a war. So we're ready for that.
Is it exciting to play a whole new slate of opponents that you've never played before?
I'm finding it really excited. Just going back, trying to watch a little film and some things that you're not used to seeing. You're used to seeing like those Elons, Townsends, Delawares, but now you're not seeing those. So looking at those new teams, I'm pretty excited to look into it.
So since you mentioned it, how could the end of last season impact the start of this season, if you kind of get my drift with it being the same team?
We're trying to take it as we normally do, just day by day, trying to not let anything get too big, lights too bright. But obviously it's to the back of everyone's head. People are going to be ready to play that first Saturday.
I know it's been a while since you played quarterback, but that time when you did, has that helped you? Has that helped you when you moved to safety?
I get asked that a good amount from people. I think, especially when I first got here, it kind of helped. Just kind of, because at that point you're kind of just playing. You don't really know exactly what you're doing. You kind of just go out playing off instinct, and kind of understand like what a quarterback would think. Kind of I think helped me out especially that first fall and the first spring. But now that I've gotten more into the film room, really understanding what I'm doing from a technical level, I kind of know what's coming most of the time. So the quarterback stuff I think obviously helps, but I think it was more of a curve when I was starting here, and it's kind of lessened the impact.
Do you miss that side of the ball?
Obviously a little bit. I played it my whole life. Obviously I played at PH, but I've definitely embraced it. I love playing defense, and I wouldn't change anything for the world.